Hey everyone, it's your favorite monkey, and welcome back to Starbase. And below me is the moon lander. This has been pre-recorded from the previous episode, so I haven't seen anybody's name suggestion just yet. But I've been a little bit busy with a couple of things, hooking up the 6 thrusters, which will help us descend. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also added roll to the ship and everything, and just some tweaks and things. But today we're gonna do the YOLOL code. I will be going through them in just a moment, but first I just quickly want to show you guys, like, I love what I've done for a cockpit. So yeah, I like these displays being here. I've added these, which are very, if not exactly the same, but still similar, these displays, to what the moon midge, because I quote-unquote stole the YOLOL codes basically from the moon midge, but it was just basically to get these thrusters to take us down and all those sorts of things. I think they will work. Oh my goodness, that's loud. It was so silent a minute ago, and now it's just bang in my ears. Oh, I'm so sorry, people. Alright, but yeah, I like this. It looks really cool. We've got our altitude thingy over here where we set how far down we want to go up. I wonder if I should invert this. No, I want this to go down, but I want it to invert. Like, if we do this, it should go to 25, and this should be 100. I don't know. We will see. Maybe I'll change that a little bit later. We got our 2 buttons for hover and gravity. That button is just to compensate for if there is gravity, but currently there is none. And auto hover is basically this thing where we set the slider to how high we want to go. I think I should add, I forgot, I must add a button called balance as well. I forgot about that. Whoops. I think I'll set it here or something. We're kind of running out of space here. But yeah, all this on the left hand side and these displays will be for the descending and whatnot, and this is just like our batteries, propellant, and those things. Added cruise and turtle mode. I finally figured out how they work. You basically just set these 2 buttons, work with this lever, that's it. No YOLOL code, nothing. Quickly want to show you that you set the cruise to here, okay, cruise mode, and you set the off value to 8, okay. If you want to do that, I think 8 is fine. Yeah, because cruise. So I set it to 8, and it is now currently off. So basically, what happens is if we let me just take this away. Go, yeah. Basically, the cruise influences. I think that is centering speed. Yeah, it influences the centering speed of the lever. So lever center speed, which is now on 8. So that's basically how fast the lever goes back towards where it was before. And now if we switch it on, it is the cruise button now is set to 0 actually. So you set your off state to 8. So when it's off, it makes this value 8, and on, it makes this value to 0. So that is basically how it works. And now, if we look over here, we can see that the value is also 0. So that means the lever won't center itself. So we can just do this. Full speed ahead, Captain. There we go. And the other button is turtle mode. So that's basically you just go slowly. So how this works is you set the name turtle, and it's off, it's on state to 10, and its value off value to 100, and you set it to button style 1. Basically, button style 1, what it does is it's a toggle button, on off. Like if you press it, it stays on. If you press it again, it stays off. So that's basically what button 1 means. If you put it to 0, it's like a normal clicky button. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it though. English is hard. So basically what I've done is the on state is 10, and its off value is 100. Now that interacts with this lever is its maximum output I've changed to turtle. And now I'm not too sure if this is the correct way to do it, but this works for me. So now it is off, the button, which value is off, or the off value is 100. So if it's 100, then this one will be 100. So we get 100% of the thrust. But if we go ahead and switch it on, we can see that the button value changed to 10. So the maximum output now is actually just 10. So let's go ahead and switch on cruise mode, and then as we can hear, the engines are just ever so slightly on. Slowly on. Or just, you know, now we're going very slow. We're going turtle speed. And then if we switch it off, there we go. Yeah, look at that. And I've got to say, this thing is stupid fast. I love it. It is really cool. And the roll. Oh no, there's something wrong with the roll. Oh no, that's there we go. Roll. Alright, so yeah, we got all that sorted out. And I think there's nothing else. Let's quickly jump back to the normal editing mode. And I quickly also want to explain something else. I found a problem with the from the last episode immediately afterwards. After I ended that episode, I found an issue. So you guys remember, like, we were flying normal speed and was talking about the balance and things. The balance was actually still off. Like, it looked like it was still balanced, but the problem was there were some thrusters back here weren't connected. I think these two weren't connected, and I think this one wasn't connected, and something like that. And then when I switched them, put them back on, I think it was just a couple of cables and things that weren't connected. Once I plugged them in and I started flying forward, the nose started to dip it down. So that means the centering was off. So I did take a look at the center of mass and the center of thrust. And as we can see, it is still a little bit off. Let's compare it with this beam. As we can see, it is still a little bit off. So unfortunately, that is a thing. The only way to fix this is if we go ahead and add maybe just box thrusters at the top. But the thing is, I don't want it to use too much fuel and whatnot, because this thing is supposed to fly very far with the extra fuel tanks and things. And have a very long flight time. That's the kind of idea. But not too long that, yeah. We were basically doubling up on the midge, and according to the midge, with its one generator or one fuel rod and two generators and single box thrusters, and I think two small or two medium propellant tanks, it can do 2 to 3 trips to the moon. So what I basically done is I literally doubled up on everything, so we can do a few more trips. But that is, it has like 4 box thrusters. We have a ton more back here. But anyways, that is that. Did fix it, and it's all fine and dandy. We've got our plates down there, which we are going to use with the rangefinders. I went ahead and renamed all the box thrusters and everything to exactly what the midge has. These levers and all the things as well. I should also add that balancing button somewhere. How am I gonna do that? I could go ahead and take a look at the controls. I kind of don't want to do this on camera, because usually it's I make a mistake or something, and then it's just like very awkward. How am I gonna do this? This display doesn't necessarily need to be here. It's just very nice to have. But what we can do is, you know, to take it off, flip it this way, and just stick it here. Now, I don't like that it's not there. I will see if I cannot make a plan or something, you know, just do something different here. Maybe move all this up or something. It's just no space then. There's no space. But anyways, let's go ahead and just, you know, slam this here. Basically, you want this lever to show, like, if you playing with this lever, you know, you want to see how far you're going to go down or whatnot. That's kind of the idea. But anyways, let's get to the YOLOL codes before I bore you guys to death. So if you don't want to see the YOLOL code or whatnot, I'm sorry, you have to unfortunately skip the episode. But this is what we're going to do. So the button auto hover gets the value of 1. If it gets the value of 1, then it go to the second line. The second line is rangefinders get switched on, and then a variable gets added, the alt. I think that is delta altitude or something. So there's a rear left altitude, which is on the rangefinders, their range, which they feed back to us, minus the hover altitude, minus the gravity. I think that is minus all these variables, I would say, also gets minus. So then the variable d alt gets that number, whatever these three give us. So if the altitude is this and this, then if CU, which is the flight computer, up and down, gets the value of that times 2, the altitude times 2, so on and so forth, for the different values and whatnot, and then it just repeats to go to 1. The next one is the value VTR, which is basically stands for vertical thrust, is all the box thrusters, front, mid, and rear left, front, mid, and rear right rate. They all get the plus, it's added together, and then vertical thrust, which is on the displays, gets the value of VTR divided by 6, and then just go back to 1. So simples. Like I said, I think in the previous episode, this is as far as I understand how these things work. Okay, so here is the balance. I need to add the balance button. I think that is kind of needed. If it's switched on, then go to the second line. Then the value D-roll gets flight altitude minus front left minus front right altitude. And then if it's this and this, then conduct a roll. That's basically what that one does. That's for rolling, and I think this one is for pitching. Yeah, same thing. So that's why I kind of need to add that button there. So let's go quickly to the next one. I don't know where this gets used though. If balance gets the value of 1, then go to 2. Balance has the value of 1, then go to 2. 2 just say balance centering gets the value of 0, go back to 1. Otherwise, balance centering gets the value of 1, go to 1. If balance 1 is not, it has the value of 0, then it goes to that one. So I don't know where balance centering gets used, but yeah, I have no idea, but I have it, so yeah. Okay, so these are just the displays for batteries. Batteries times 20 because we have 20 batteries. Propellant is all the propellant tanks have been renamed to P1, P2 up until P8. Generated power is all the generators. We have 12. So the text panel generated power gets the value of these times 10. Rate is a variable, which is all the box thrusters, which is pointing down, divided by 6. And a thrust rate gets the value of rate. Just that. And then this is your standard generator to have the generators work on a proper way. So that is that. So before I bore you all to death, let's quickly do a speedy up bit where I install these and maybe see if I can get that balancing button in. And then, yeah, let's do this. Alright, welcome back people, and today is not a new day. No, it's been a few hours later. Let me just go ahead and delete that. I was actually just trying to think of something, but it didn't work out. But anyways, welcome back. Now, you might see that this is different. It is looking different, this one. Oh, yes, and over here, same thing, different. So, yeah, I tried to change a couple of things up. I did take this thing out for a couple of test flights. I had to correct a lot of things. I think some of you might have seen that I inserted the YOLOL codes, the chips, a little bit differently. And they did not work up until when I swapped them over, and then, yeah, it works. Had to change a couple of things up here. Yeah, there was a couple of things I had to change up. And for some reason, the ship didn't work. It just did not work the same way the midge does. And once at like a certain stage, like these top thrusters, they would keep firing downwards. So the ship would slowly go downwards, even though, like, you know, everything's switched off and everything, and it's just like, no, it would still keep going. I went back to the midge and I tried to figure things out, and let's just say I figured out a way, or not a way, the problem. On the main flight computer, I had to go and rename all of the thrusters to very specific individual names. Like this one is front right thruster, and then these top ones must be named top 1, top 2, top 3, so on and so forth. And then everything worked out. So, and then a couple of tweaks and things happened, and yeah, everything is now fine and dandy. They are working as intended. So let's quickly take a flight and I will show you guys. Okay, so gravity, what this does is just to compensate for if there is a planet or something we're going to land on, a moon. We must activate that in order to have the gravity compensation. Then we have the auto hover. But first, let's quickly switch on the rangefinders, and as we can see, we have the plates below us, which is about 13 meters below us. And the lowest the auto hover will go is 25, so yeah, that's not going to work. Although, what we can do is go ahead and engage the hover mode now. And as we can see, we are lifting off. But we're doing it in like in a sort of a corner way, like, or slanted, I would say. It's going... Okay, it's happy where it is. Now it's pushing us down because some of the altitudes are not correct. But we will take care of that in a second. Let me just go ahead and switch that off. And also the rangefinders. Switching them off. Yeah, so let me show you guys the issue I have. Are they still firing? Yeah, for some reason they are still firing. But this thing, it goes, it's fine. It's using these bottom thrusters to keep balance and turn and whatnot, which I think still looks pretty cool. There we go. Now you should stop. No, it's not stopping. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it keeps going downwards. It's weird. Let's just do this. Now it should stop. Alright, so that is all fine and dandy. Now it's not really a good way to show because now those plates have disappeared. Yeah, they disappeared. Unfortunately. Alright, but we can quickly take the test from the start. But yeah, everything works normally. The roll is there, the tipping, turning, the forward momentum, everything works fine and dandy. Still have to figure out like why propellant and batteries are not really working. Unless the batteries gets 100% charged, then we can actually reduce the number of generators we have. I feel like that is a thing. But let's quickly retake the test and I'll show you guys what I mean by what is another issue. But I feel like it's not gonna be an issue. I think it is actually pretty cool it does it this way. So what happens is if we go ahead and change the hover status so that we hover towards about 1,000 kilometers in the air, what happens is because we're so low, these thrusters will engage to push us upwards. But unfortunately, these back thrusters, the main drives, they will kick in at the same time. And it kind of creates a very weird effect. So let me go ahead and say, alright, I want to go all the way up. 1,000 kilometers. Look what happens. Like we lift off with a slantiness. So it's not an issue really. It's not really an issue. I'm thinking, like, in my mind, how this is now playing off is we are actually taking off from the planet, you know, like a plane or a helicopter, more. Yeah, more like a helicopter, I would say. So it's still a good thing, you know. We should just hope there's not a building or anything in our way if you're gonna do that. But I'm actually quite happy with the system now. It's not an issue, the way it takes off, whatnot. Like I said, I feel like it's cool. It works. It's doing the thing it should. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of like this. Alright, there we go. Now you're turning. There we go. Man. But I gotta say, this thing really, it's fast, it moves, it's not very nimble though. It takes a year to turn, but it's because of the lack of side thrusters and things. As we can see. It's not really spewing out the needed thrust. It's using the bottom ones, actually, to give us that turn effect. But still, it's good. I like it. It's pretty good. Yeah, so let's get out of here for a second. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do regarding, like, if I want to land somewhere or something. To actually land, but I feel like if we have what we have now, then it should not be a problem. Yeah, I don't think it will be a problem at all. But anyways, let's go ahead. You guys, nobody is moving or anything. Did we see, is the ship still moving anywheres? It's drifting. Now it stopped. Sort of. Alright, there we go. But yeah, I'm happy with this. I think next episode we might start plating. Yeah, I think we're gonna start plating, and in between I will go ahead and add radiators and whatnot in the back or somewhere along. But yeah, I feel like this is sort of done. You know, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's got its gas tanks and everything in it. Let me just go ahead and do this. There we go. It's got its gas tanks and everything in it, the propellant tanks, so it will go for quite a distance. It's got the power, it's got everything. So yeah, basically plating would be the thing, you know, plating would be the thing. And I think then yeah, plating will be next, and you know, just finishing touches and whatnot, I think is gonna be the thing of the day, I guess. But anyways, people, thank you so much for joining me here on Starbase. Hope you guys did enjoy today's episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.